we are live, and this is going to be a long chunk of things that I want to talk to you guys about. So go ahead and grab some lemon oil, put it in your water, and I also highly recommend getting your peppermint. I made a spray out of it and I called it Morning Sickness because peppermint has really been helping me. So shake it up. Woo, that's some good stuff, but man, it's strong. All right. Love those two together. Okay. So I want to be talking to you guys about the case for multi-level marketing and young living business. I've had to learn a lot, even just preparing for this video that I wanted to share with you guys. I knew that it would be more valuable coming from somebody that you know rather than somebody's recommendation that you don't know. So if you have your guidebook handy, I really need you to grab it because we're going to be talking about the income disclosure guide, and that's on page 39 and 40. It looks like this. You can see some of our Young Living leaders here. Right here. Courtney Kreitz is my favorite, maybe, and she's in the purple, so in the very front. Yes, okay, so grab your guidebook. You can also find the compensation plan, the same thing, at the website on the virtual office. This is just going to be showing you the income potential that you have. I'm going to be talking about it quite a bit. So when you're ready and you've grabbed your oil, you've grabbed your book, come back. Maybe pause and come back. Okay, now we're going to be talking about something very funny. It's not really funny. It's a lot. It's not really funny. The case for multi-level marketing and a young living business. So I want to talk first about the new economy shift that we are facing here in 2020. And it's not really 2020 specific. Before I ramble on and on, let me refer to my notes as best as I can because I want to get some points across very concise manner. So I've been reading and researching about 3 or 4 different sources from this this topic, okay? So the new economy shift. Why would a stay-at-home mom of 3 kids, a homeschool mom, want to talk about the economy shift? I am not a numbers person, but it's really important because I want to invite you into a world that I've been invited in so that you have the opportunity to see the same potential that I see. And I wouldn't be a really good friend if I didn't offer it to you, honestly. I want you to see the money and economics and potential in a new light because I am personally tired of seeing my husband slave away, making just enough to live on, sometimes not even that. I'm tired of not having freedom to bless others that could really use the money to do more for the kingdom of God if they just had a little bit more. You know, so in one word, I'm sharing this because of freedom, in one word. So if you were to make a list of all the things, I'm burping that peppermint, I'm sorry. If you were able to make a list of all the perfect, the elements of a perfect career, a perfect job, what would it be? What would you write down first? I want to talk a little bit about blue, white collar sales, traditional investing, and ministry a little bit, okay? So blue collar jobs represent the bulk of our communities and lifeblood in America. Most of us have loved ones involved in manual labor. how rewarding and refining it is just to see the work of your hands and to pour your craft and your skill into it. And how many important lessons can be learned just by refining and all the things that you can learn just over a workbench and with a mentor. I feel like that is such a beautiful picture of America, maybe. It's an excellent place to start blue-collar jobs, but in this day and age, it's harder and harder to make a profit and still make dinner, if you know what I mean. So creating the perfect career, what would the environment and the opportunity offer? What would it look like? White-collar jobs, maybe that's it. Perfect for high-achieving people, high achievers, except that it means you've got to be manipulative in relationships and you've got to be a politician and work with strategy. And it becomes, if you want to climb the ladder, it becomes less about your skill set of actual work and more about how strategic and manipulative you can be. White-collar jobs are also full of people who just need a job and they hide and keep their head down. They do what they're told. They don't bring ripples or ideas to the drawing board that might propel them forward. They're just doing the minimum. They need a paycheck. That's what they're there for. Don't ask any more of them, right? Sales jobs are fantastic for people who want to be paid by productivity instead of time, except that it can be extremely volatile with outside factors when you have no control over it. Sustainability is a problem, demanding of your time, and you have no chance to enjoy what you've accumulated so far. Sales jobs can pay the bills, but it's stressful and it falls short of the perfect career. What about traditional business ownership? Ownership can be a refreshing idea for people who are sick of the corporate world and who have a lot of high stress and just want to walk away from it. They have a streak of courage and decide to build a dream, to work for themselves and to have their own space. But where are these people typically in the following 5 years? They come back to the corporate world because it didn't work out. They probably started by taking on debt, or borrowing from a family member to get started, and instead of focusing on their strong points and what they're really good at and turning a profit, they have to become all things to all people. Secretary work, attorney, negotiator, janitorial, and if there's any kind of legal matters at all, you've got to handle that as well. The business starts to own them, and after everyone gets paid first, they might be able to take enough home and pay their own personal bills, but not to mention the debt that they took on to start the dream. So they might succeed, but most of them fail. It's the hard truth. And I'd rather not say it, but that's just the world we live in. And you can just ask your friends who have started their own businesses to see if this is accurate. Investing is a neat idea. It's a good option for somebody who has a lot of knowledge and skill, but like those in sales, they can only do well until factors outside their control begin to shift, and your skills can't really pull you out of a market crash. So almost overnight, you could lose everything. If you make a mistake, it can be very, very expensive. So ministry is kind of the last thing to mention as far as I know. And you could maybe even make an argument for it being a blue collar, maybe. But I think ministry is really vital, and I wouldn't want to imagine where our world would be if godly, loving people were not in the ministry, making a true difference in people's lives, showing up when people are at their worst at all hours of the night. That's our pastor. He is involved in other people's lives. He routinely goes out to eat and sits with people that he may or may not know. He goes to courthouses just to hang out and just to be of service. And he hangs out with police officers just to see, is there anything I can do to help you do your job better? He's a true servant. The value of a minister's time and effort cannot be fully measured on the same scale as the rest of these, but as a perfect worldly career, it falls short as well. Meaning, you can't normally keep your integrity and still get rich off the generosity of the church members, right? You can't really achieve very many material dreams unless the Lord has just really called you to it and given you extra special wisdom. This whole set of what I'm talking about right now is not to demean anyone in those career choices. My own husband is probably in blue collar, but also traditional business, and I've seen firsthand what it takes. Contentment and peace can be found wherever God has placed you. But as far as the perfect career, I think that it's important to notice that it looks different than what we've been taught because times are changing. The rise of the corporation 100 years ago became the standard of job security. We know that there's unwritten rules about going to school to get a good education and then finding somebody who's going to pay a good salary or get a good paying job. Number 3, be faithful to your company over an extended period of time. They will be faithful to you. And then you can retire at the end of 40 years with plenty to spare. But that philosophy is full of holes. How many people do you know that's actually made that succeed? A company isn't as loyal as we thought. Maybe we've switched jobs and that process repeats until we are retirement and age. And then we can't retire because there's not enough money and we have to keep going. We have to keep working. So all of this information is from Eric Worre's book, and he says we're going through the biggest economic shift we've ever seen. We live in the age of globalization. People will now be paid on their performance and not by their time. Not by their time investment. It's coming because companies can get better results with less expense. We already see this in the food industry with waitress tips. They get a lot more of their pay is now being transitioned from their hours that they put in to their tips that they're earning. Performance-based. This new economy needs fewer people, fewer jobs, and it's similar, as sad as it is, it's similar to the farming transition we've seen in the last 100 years as well. 90% of people 100 years ago were in agriculture, but now it's less than 1% because of efficiency and technological advances. So it's going to be the same for every other field according to Eric Worre's predictions. How can we thrive in this new economy? Multi-level marketing isn't perfect, it's just a better option. It means you can receive the benefits of the typical business ownership without all the potential risks and with no cap on your income. There are good products that need to be promoted and shared. That hasn't changed. And consumers still need to be educated and cared for. Corporate businesses have a choice to make. So if you were the boss of a big corporation, you can decide to hire a large, expensive sales force to advertise, or you can pay an individual to share their success and their stories. And since stories are more convicting than ads that are flashing and fighting in front of you, the multi-level marketing fits the new economy shift too. Word of mouth is the most productive form of advertising. So here is the catch that you might be waiting for. You must embrace a temporary loss of self-esteem from those who don't really understand what's going on in the economy. They're trying to thrive in the old economic market, and it's just not going to work anymore. It's dying out, according to the predictions of Eric Worre. And the more that I hear him talk about it, the more I think he's right. many of whom have been burned by people who have played at multi-level marketing without the personal growth. I think that is the reason why so many people have like a tender resistance, an exposed nerve when the issue of multi-level marketing comes up, because maybe everybody's been burned at this point by somebody who thought that they knew what they were doing and they didn't make the relationship a priority over their profit. So I want to present to you that Young Living is the best multi-level marketing company. The products have unparalleled quality for you and your friends. They are consumable products, which means residual income if you're a business builder. And these products are relevant to everyone who has a brain and a body, unlike other MLMs that only sell a product that you may need once a year to 2 times a year. That's a lot of work in the multi-level marketing side. Also, no other multi-level marketing is as generous with their income disclosure guide, with their income disclosure. And there are so many more reasons we're going to delve into a little bit more later, but those few that I just mentioned give so much more opportunity than what you're going to get elsewhere. So there is a guy whose name is Ryan Hase. He is kind of a youngster. He looks a little bit like Bill Nye in how he dresses with bow ties and suspenders. He's a retired CPA. And he used to make fun of his wife after she started a Young Living business. But she begged him to just watch and look at some paperwork, break down the numbers, and compare it. Give it an honest view. And something started to change in him, and she started succeeding in multi-level marketing so much that she out-earned him, out-earned his monthly paycheck as a CPA. So I was trying to find this video so that I could maybe share it with you, but I'm just going to have to share the content because I think they've recently taken it down or maybe tried to revamp it. Sometimes Young Living has changes that they make, and so that might be the reason why they took it down. Anyway, so he gives examples of residual income, what that means, such as royalties, social security number, 401k, income, property, and rentals, all examples of residual income. He talks about how if you were to have money in the bank and only lived off the interest of that money, what that might look like. The average 60-year-old today has less than $104,000 in the bank. Now, if they were earning a 6%, which is kind of high, if they were earning 6% back, they'd be making $520 a month. 6%. So the first, this might be a good time for you to get your income disclosure guide out. I'm going to pick up my guide, page 39 and 40. So the first rank is star. That's the easiest to hit. There's a lot of people who have accidentally hit the rank of star without meaning to, without even trying to build a business. They got a paycheck, and just as a thank you for signing up 2 or 3 people, they got star. Young Living Star makes an average of $77 per month. It would be the same as having $15.4 thousand in the bank and living off the interest. Okay? The next step is where I'm at. Young Living Star. It's about $200 a month, which would be $48,000 in the bank. I think we're talking about if you just took what you make at Young Living and save it and live off the interest of that, it will accumulate into $48,000 in the bank. Young Living Gold would be like having, Young Living is skipping a couple, it's skipping Executive and Silver. That would be like having $1.2 million in the bank if you were to save that every month. So he talks about how members on ER, residual income, whenever you have members on Essential Rewards, the residual income and how your paycheck is relying on premium starter kit sales, then you inevitably have a sales job. If your current OGV is senior star with an OGV of 2,000 and you have a monthly growth rate of just 3%, monthly growth rate 3%. At each month, at year 4, you've hit silver. So that would be the average income is around $2,000 monthly income. And that would replace a lot of paychecks, a lot of standard paychecks. Year 8, you've hit gold. Year 11, if you're going to stick with this for 11 years, platinum. Platinum would be 13,872. And I have friends that are right there. Monthly paycheck right there. Year 13, diamond. Year 16, crown diamond. Year 18, royal crown diamond. I think that this is just averages. But royal crown diamond would be like $152,000 per month with a value of essentially $30 million in the bank. So this CPA was blown away and I think had to probably apologize and was reprimanded when he started looking at the actual numbers. Instead of raising money and taking out a loan, finding a location to lease, purchasing inventory, hiring and managing employees, in some cases firing them because it's hard to find employees nowadays that are going to show up when they say they're going to show up and work anyway. Instead of worrying about all that headache when you have your own traditional business set up, you can open a Young Living business and the cost is the premium starter kit. You're set up right there. Once you buy your premium starter kit, you have centralized inventory distribution, so you don't have to handle any inventory. That's a blessing because other multi-level marketings are different in that. Fully integrated e-commerce website. So the website, the virtual office is extremely well organized and I love getting on there. I learn something new just about every time that I'm on it. Customer service department that can handle, and they are always kind. Every time I call in, they're so sweet and normally very quick to answer the phone and get off of the phone too. They also have a chat now that you can utilize, and that has been fantastic. Marketing materials. So I don't have to come up with any graphics. All of that is either given to me by my team or by Young Living. Online training. Some of it's free, some of it you pay for, depending on what you want to do. Fully subsidized sale promotions. Essential Rewards program, which is extremely wonderful. I am so happy to be involved in that program. The highest caliber executive team. So instead of opening a business and worrying about all that headache, you have all of those things that I just listed off just by buying your premium starter kit, whether you know it or not. And that does not, just because you buy a premium starter kit, obviously does not mean that you have to do the business, but you're set up for it nicely and easily, should you want to. Sign up your mom. And then if you never want to do any more, you could get one paycheck and then be done. But most people see, and I think you will see too, like the numbers, the accumulative effort and investment can be astronomical. So just a few more perks to this business listed in Sarah Harnisch's book, Game Plan. There's no income ceiling with Young Living because multi-level marketing is about a paycheck that represents performance. Remember, we were talking about performance and not being paid by your time anymore. Performance, not time. The time has never been better to do your Young Living business. It is a misconception that if you don't get in early with multi-level marketing that you can't make a paycheck. That's false. I bet you if you could pick up your shampoo bottle, you probably will find that it says no sulfates, no parabens, and similar advertisement. And that's because people are starting to pick up the cost of long life exposure to constant harmful and unchecked chemicals. People are demanding better. So the third reason that now is a good time to think about this, a little extra, you get to set your own hours, accommodating any schedule. But you have to understand with that, it's a blessing and a curse. So if you're not putting time in and you're not being accountable, then you're not going to get paid like you have a business. You're going to get paid like you have a hobby, which is sometimes where I'm at. That's what we're working on right now. So let's see, this is number 4. This is maybe my favorite. Willable income. Do you know what that means? That means if you reach the rank of silver, not even halfway up the rank. I think, well, it might be half. It's the 4th rank out of 6. Okay, 4th rank out of 6. Silver, you can call Young Living, fill out the paperwork, and write out your will so that if you should die and basically, so if you should die, your paycheck will always come to your family, period, forever, as long as Young Living is around. Willable income. So once you reach silver, your paycheck will keep coming to your family if you were to pass away. Let's see, number 5, you can take time off and still get paid. That's the beauty of residual income and community. Because if you've built a community, they are still working whenever you have to take time off, take a break. I know moms in Young Living who have had special needs kids and they had to take a break so that they could help their kids. I've known moms who just had maybe a death in the family. Since I've been in Young Living, I've heard maybe 4 or 5 women, I don't know personally, but have lost their husbands some tragic way. And they continue to get a paycheck because of the community that they've built underneath them. Another reason is because relationships that you'll make will refine through this whole process, and those are jewels to cherish. One of my favorite Young Living leaders, she says that the relationships in the community that she had fulfilled something deep within her that she had been looking for a long time. The next one is guaranteed bonuses. Guaranteed bonuses. When you reach certain ranks, there's different things that Young Living will just give you. They'll just give it to you just for, a big thank you. Financial freedom. What would it mean to break from financial bondage? Can you imagine not living a life from paycheck to paycheck? I heard a statistic, I cannot remember what it is, but it's not encouraging what Dave Ramsey says about the average American and how much they have in savings. Not good. Not good. Financial freedom, that's such a huge one for me. I just want, largely one of the things that's pushing me most is just to give my husband a break because he works from sunup to sundown. And you guys would not believe the work that he puts in. Well, you might, because I have a lot of good friends that are kind of actually in the same boat. So I just want to lift some of that load. The last one I want to mention is the opportunity to give whatever cause is close to your heart. This is a huge one for me. Since I was a kid, I wanted to be in a better spot financially so that I could love on other people and help them and be the one to say, I will give money. I will give it away because I have it. I've wanted to be that way. but you can't when you're drowning. You can't when you're drowning. So that can be a huge motivation to start a Young Living business. There's so many good reasons, but there's a lot of people also talking about how they think MLMs are pyramid schemes or Ponzi schemes, and I don't think that those people know what FTC is. The FTC is an independent agency of the United States. It was established in 1914 by the Federal Trade Commission Act. And its mission is to protect consumers and eliminate the prevention of competitive business practices, anti-competitive business practices, like coercive monopoly. When a company does not provide a viable product, or a company has too many sharers, meaning more people selling the business opportunity than the products, the Federal Trade Commission makes sure that they don't obtain the ability to do business. Young Living's been around since 1993 and has beat the odds of most multi-level marketing companies. Most of them only last on average about 7 years, and then they're done. I think we've seen that with a lot of multi-level marketing companies. So this is why I'm excited about Young Living. This is in conclusion, guys, and I know that I've shot a lot at you. I've shot a lot your way. I wanted to say another reason why this is not a Ponzi or a pyramid scheme is because those are illegal, and to be a part of that, you would have had to purchase something that you never received. So Young Living is not that way. And if you really think about it, every other organization ever is like a pyramid. Like the government is kind of shaped like a pyramid if you were to draw it out. I guess I can't speak for a whole lot of other multi-level marketing companies, but Young Living is structured in such a way that if you were to do so well at the business, you can actually outrank me. If I signed you up, you can outrank me, and I can outrank. I can pass up the people that signed me up if I work hard at it. So it's not nearly as scary as what people make it out to be. A lot of people are just scared because they don't know it. So this is why I'm excited about Young Living, though. Through the highs and the lows, they continue to bring integrity to the world through product and quality. Gary Young, I think when he was beginning his business, he found a lot of people that claimed natural products, but that were not natural. Did you know that the FDA has regulated that all you have to have in your bottle of essential oil that you're going to sell, all you have to have is 5% oil, and then you can fill it up with whatever you want to fill it up with. You can put a carrier oil in it and charge through the roof with it. You can put chemicals in it and charge through the roof with it. And FDA does not regulate that stuff. And so it's extremely hard to know if you're getting a good product that's actually benefiting you. One way you can tell is by how you feel when you use it. Another way that you know is by the integrity of the business itself and how the business is run internally. So through the highs and the lows, though, this is why I love Young Living, because they continue to bring integrity to the world through their product, through their business structure, and their generosity throughout the world, with schools that they're setting up and clinics, natural disaster outreach. They're even involved in sex traffic rescue. They're involved in something that they've called Soul Hope, which saves the little feet in Africa from parasitic jiggers. I don't know if you guys have read the book by Katie Davis, but she wrote a book called Kisses from Katie, and she talks about the jiggers that plant their eggs in these kids' feet. And that's not really the painful part. The painful part is when they start hatching and when you have to get them out. So Young Living is involved in that, trying to just provide kids with shoes. That's all it takes, just shoes. And I think simple flip-flops are even better than nothing. Young Living has ethical practices, local and abroad. And if they have had any shady business deals on their corporate level, which they have in the past and they didn't know it, they actually have turned themselves in and have made it right instead of trying to cover it up, instead of making it a private ordeal and possibly losing a lot of support and a lot of money. So another reason why I love Young Living is that each oil is tested over 20 times before coming to your house, testing quality and frequency. So I don't know if you've studied much into frequency, but the oil radiates the same numbers of frequency as if it were still living, like still living in as a plant in the ground. And it's still highly more concentrated and powerful than dried herbs. If you take a product that is lesser quality, that's not therapeutic grade, if it says 100% pure, but it doesn't say therapeutic grade, that is a red flag, because FDA regulations are very low on that. All you have to have is 5%, and you can put the label on it that says 100%. It does not make sense to me, but okay. So the oil radiates the same numbers as if it were a living plant still in the ground, and yet it's more highly concentrated than dry herbs. Dry herbs are really not that concentrated. They're not that powerful because the oil has been lifted out. Frequency testing is done by caring for the soil first and distilling in the particular plant's favorite protocol. So citrus oils really like to be cold pressed, and then others like to be steam distilled. Young Living won't buy a farm that's been sprayed by chemicals, by anything toxic. It has to have rested for 30 years before they will even touch it, before they'll even consider it. They have farms all over the world. Frankincense comes from the Middle East. The lavender used to come from France, but now it comes from Utah. I think they still have farms in France, but I love the fact that when I am using an oil, I'm using something that came from the other side of the world, and it was harvested in the best way possible, in the purest way possible. When you see the pains that have been taken to provide the world with precious oil that's going to be an invaluable tool to combat almost every battle we're facing today, to me, price is not even entering into the equation, because I see so much value there. And that's why I'm on Essential Rewards, which is the monthly subscription box, because I know these products are real and they work. And it's a great fit for our family. We love it. My kids love it. And I use it as preventative. And we are also not paying anything on health insurance. So this is a fantastic way to invest in our health. And I love it more than I would in health insurance, because this is going to support my liver. This is going to support my liver and not just help me replace it when it's zapped, you know? So that's why I love Young Living. That's my case for a Young Living business. If you're a numbers person, I really encourage you to look at this. And you can print this off. Let me see. It's maybe 5-6 pages long. And it just goes through helping you understand the numbers. So that is what I have to share with you guys, and I love you, and I want to help you along with this. I want to mentor you, and we can run together. I am not there yet. I am not a numbers person, but I'm willing to try because the value is there. So I think that's all I have for today, and I just want to send all my love to you guys. I hope that I've given you something to think about, and that you will start to understand the value of an economic shift of perspective. So, okay, Have a good day and be blessed. Let me know if you want into this amazing opportunity, and we will link arms and we'll do it together, and we will laugh and we will cry and we will scream and we will conquer and endure.